Well, we've been doing it and we can no longer afford to do it. We simply can't do that anymore. Times have changed, the world has changed, or maybe we've been behind. I think really we've been behind. It's easy to be told, well, I'm here to lower your taxes. Oh, God, please do. Please lower my taxes. That would be great. Or I'm going to tax somebody else. That's an even better idea. There was a saying in Congress years ago, everybody wants to cut old Charlie's program, but nobody wants to be old Charlie. And that's the truth. Nobody wants to cut anything. They'll all talk about fiscal responsibility. They'll all talk about those things, but in the end, they're taking care of their constituents. And that's fine. But there seems to be a big hole in that ideology, in that thought pattern right now. And the big hole is mental health, accessible mental health. By the way, you can always join this program by calling 515-955-1400, 515-955-1400, right here in Fort Dodge, Iowa. I mentioned that an author, and I'm going to get this book, an author in late August published a new book that suggests that looting is a positive force. Looting is a positive force. Not just rioting, but looting is a defensible act. As a matter of fact, the name of her book is In Defense of Looting. It's out now. You can get it on Amazon. The author's name is Vicky Osterweel, academic, of course, or at least she describes herself that way. She describes herself as a writer, editor, and agitator. Now, I don't know where she's an editor at, but she's been writing and participating. She's been writing about and participating in protests for years. She's a protest junkie. She likes the high of being out in the street and screaming at authority figures or trying to hurt authority figures. Yes, peaceful protest. Let me say again. Can I say again? Let me just pause. Today in the United States, there's no such thing as peaceful protest. Don't let anybody tell you that. Don't let anybody tell you these are isolated interests. These are tactics. These are tactics. If people are coming from other states and they're bringing laser pointers that damage police officers' eyes, if they've got a book bag full of rocks or hammers, these people did not show up to peacefully protest. They showed up to be violent. They smash windows, set cars on fire, and just have a hell of a good time. Now, don't mistake these people with the students who marched against the Vietnam War 50 years ago. These people aren't the educated intellectual classes of my generation. One of the young men, 36 years old, who tragically was killed in Kenosha, Wisconsin, worked at a fast food place. Nobody, and the other young man that was killed tragically, he was a 26-year-old skateboarder. By the time I was 26, I was a veteran of foreign wars. This young man was a skateboarder, and he too was tragically killed. I'm not making a comment on their death. I'm just using their profile as an example of who's really in the street. These are not undergrad students at the University of Iowa or Northwestern or Columbia, Missouri, or any of those places. These are people who come out of little towns in some cases who just want to raise hell and hurt people. The 48-year-old man who drove from Olympia, Washington to Portland, Oregon, and shot and killed one of the patriots before dozens of witnesses. He apparently also had a little bit of a skateboard thing going on. 48-year-old man, he's grandparent age. Well, he did it because he said one of his black brothers was in danger, and it was all self-defense. That's why he left Portland and hid out in Olympia for a day or two. But the police did find him. The police found him in his apartment and knocked on his door to arrest him. And if he was really confident in his claim of self-defense, he would have gone along with it. If he was really a peaceful protester, he would have gone along with it. Instead, he pulled a weapon and started firing at the officers. The officers fired back and had to chase him some distance before he was finally killed in a gun battle. I don't think the guy was ever a peaceful protester. And no, these are not isolated incidents. They're not. This is the driving force of the Democratic Party now. This is who these people are. This is not the party of Franklin Roosevelt, Lyndon B. Johnson, Dr. King, Robert Kennedy, John Kennedy. These people are violent, and they're not revolutionaries. They're crooks, for the most part, who run around screaming Black Lives Matter. There was a video of a university educated video, or excuse me, she was a university educated woman, I beg your pardon. And the police video recorded her smashing out a window in a federal building. And she did a pretty good job. It was like a 6-foot-high window. She took great pains to make sure every shred of glass was knocked out of the frame. Then the police, after she was done, and she had a hammer with her, of course, claw hammer, the police went to arrest her. And she said, "Why are you doing this? This is a matter of free speech." And the look on her face when the cops told her, "We've been recording you and watching you smash window panes, large window panes. We have it on recording." You should have seen the look on her face. She tried to make some lame excuse about smashing windows out was a First Amendment issue, and further that bringing a claw hammer to a peaceful protest seemed a little incongruous, to say the very least. But again, this is who these people are. This is who these people are. There's about 2 degrees of separation between Joe Biden and these people with claw hammers. That may seem an unusual thing to say or a contestable thing to say. But Biden and the Democratic Party, Biden sat in his basement all summer long while these terrible things happened and never said a word about it. Now, all of a sudden in early September, oh, yes, looting is bad. Well, Vicky Osterweel, in her book In Defense of Looting, is here to hip Joe Biden to what's really happening. According to Vicky, looting is a highly racialized word from its very inception in the English language. Did you know looting had racial connotations? Looting is highly racialized. It's taken from the Hindu, which means goods or spoils, and it appears in an English colonial officer's handbook in the 19th century. A question was asked of Vicky that during the uprisings of this past summer, rioting and looting have often gone hand in hand. Can you talk about the distinction you see between the two? Rioting, according to Vicky Osterweel, and by the way, I'm getting this from a National Public Radio website, so you know it's true, all you liberals out there. All those people who throw around accusations like rape sympathizer or racist or this, that, or the other thing. You're all full of it. You don't know what you're talking about. But fortunately, Vicky Osterweel, in her book In Defense of Looting, can tell us all about it. Again, what is the distinction between rioting and looting? Well, according to Vicky, rioting generally refers to any moment of mass unrest or upheaval. Riots are a place in which a mass of people has produced a situation in which the general laws that govern society no longer function, and people can act in different ways in the street and in public. I say that rioting, this is Vicky Osterweel speaking, I say that rioting is a broader category in which looting appears as a tactic. It's just a tactic, you see. It's not a crime. She goes on to say that looting is more common among movements that are coming from below. It tends to be an attack on business, a commercial space, maybe a government building, taking those things that would otherwise be commodified and controlled and shared for free. See where we're going here? See where we're going here? According to Vicky Osterweel, looting does a number of important things. It gets people what they need. Are you listening to this? All you people who are dumb enough to work hard so you could have a few things and your family would be taken care of? According to Vicky, looting gets people what they need for free immediately, which means that they are capable of living and reproducing their lives without having to rely on jobs or a wage. Let me repeat that to you. Looting does some important things. It gets people what they need for free immediately, which means that they are capable of living and reproducing their lives without having to rely on jobs or a wage. Well, sign me up, Vicky. Wait, don't. I have too much self-respect. I have too much self-respect. Liberals apparently don't. Vicky goes on and also attacks the way in which food and things are distributed. It attacks the idea of property. God, liberals hate property. And it attacks the idea that in order for someone to have a roof over their head or have a meal ticket, they have to work for a boss. Yes, let me give you that idea again. It attacks the idea that in order for someone to have a roof over their head or have a meal ticket, they have to work for a boss in order to buy things that people just like them somewhere else in the world had to make under the same conditions. There it is. And, of course, you knew this was coming. Importantly, she goes on to say, I think, especially when it's in the context of a black uprising like the one we're living through now, it also attacks the history of whiteness and white supremacy. This is another one of my favorite lines. The very basis of property in the U.S. is derived through whiteness and through black oppression. So if you have anything at all, you're a white supremacist and blah, 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 blah. This is AM 1400 KVFT, the voice of Fort Dodge. I can't do this anymore.
Michael Devine, standing for Medicare and Social Security. After a lifetime of work, you deserve it. AM 1400 KVFT.
That's right. And remember again that Bill Clinton almost privatized the Social Security and Medicare in a deal with Newt Gingrich. But fortunately, he was caught with his pants down once again.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No. Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire for her company, GS Group.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult task. So I use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter finds the right people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
With ZipRecruiter, we've hired everyone from accountants to project managers to field scientists.
And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/search. That's ZipRecruiter.com/search.
During this challenging and unprecedented time, Gunderson's is here to serve with expert guidance and understanding to each family and their unique needs. We provide options for funeral, cremation, memorial, virtual, and webcast services, either presently or at a later date. We understand that grief does not wait. We are trained to help you walk this path to bring comfort and support. Every life deserves to be recognized and celebrated, whether it be together or afar.
This is AM 1400 KVFT, the voice of Fort Dodge. It's exactly 2:30. Obituaries are brought to you this hour by Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 1650 North 15th Street, Fort Dodge. You may contact the Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-7128 or online at www.gundersonfuneralhome.com. Justin Sturts has died. Justin Sturts has passed away. His service was at 10:30 this morning at Gunderson Chapel. Obituaries this morning brought to you by Gunderson Funeral and Cremation Services at 1650 North 15th Street, Fort Dodge. You may contact Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-7128 or online at www.gundersonfuneralhome.com. It's 2:31. The fabulous Janice Valentine will be with us at 2:35.
When you were a teenager, your garage was the beginning of your rock and roll dreams. Later on, your garage was a place to store whatever didn't fit in the house. Then you got the car of your dreams. And that's not staying outside at night, no, sir. That's where we come in.
P&R Entry Doors is your one-stop source for installation and repairs. As an official Midland garage door dealer, we have everything you need for any size garage in any situation. PNREntryDoors.com.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
With your KVFD News Update, I'm Rob Jones. The Webster County Public Health Department has announced that their drive-through flu shot clinic that was scheduled for tomorrow has been postponed. Public Health says the vaccine shipment is behind schedule because of wildfires on the West Coast. Public Health says they plan to announce a new date for the clinic as soon as possible. Leah Glasgow, the CEO of Unity Point Health Fort Dodge, was a guest on Dodger Weekly on KVFD AM 1400. During that appearance, she talked about how her and her staff at Unity Point Fort Dodge has been dealing with the COVID-19